Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 704 High School Highlight Podcast. My name is Jeff Taylor. I'm the sports director here at Bahakel Sports. Glad to have you along. Thanks for joining us. And I'm joined today by the head coach from Independence High School, DJ McFadden. Coach, thanks for your time.
I appreciate you having me today, man.
So let's talk a little bit first just about your journey. Talk to me a little bit about football. When did you realize you loved it so much? And just talk to me a little bit about the journey through high school, especially where you played.
Yeah, well, I think like anybody else, I started off young. My dad was football coach. He was actually my first coach, so he got me into the game and played at Independence High School. So really learned the love of the game early on. Played at Independence High School, won a couple championships there. Went off to East Carolina to play as a freshman, sophomore year, transferred to Winston-Salem State, and moved back to Charlotte after I finished there and immediately got back into coaching. First job happened to be at Independence with Joe Evans, and we moved on to Ardrey and a couple other stops. And full circle, here I am back at Independence with my chance to lead the program.
Take me back to the high school days.
Mm-hmm.
Did you play under Coach Knotson?
Yes, sir. Yep.
So, just a juggernaut. What was it like to be a part of that program under that coach?
To be a part of the program was special, you know what I mean? Be a part of a program that winning streak with that prestige, that was definitely something special. Pressure field, though, for sure.
Just a
you know
little
what I
bit.
mean? Yeah, a little bit when you're starting as a junior and you walk into a situation to where you got a 70-game win streak on the line and you got two quarterbacks before you, Chris Leak and Joe Coxon with the Florida and Georgia.
Just a little more pressure.
Just a little bit. As far as playing for Tommy, you got to be thick-skinned to play for that guy. You know what I mean? He's going to challenge you every day. He's going to hold you accountable. He's going to do what he needs to do to get the best out of you, or whatever that entitles. But nothing but respect for him, man. Like, he knows his stuff, and he molded me and a lot of other guys into, some of the men we are today.
And then he went down to, I think he's at Dutch Fork now.
Still
building
winning.
a program there.
Still winning.
So when you talk about him a little bit more, though, too, like to have that run that he had, is there, and you're dealing with so many kids coming in and out and stuff like that as a graduate and stuff like that, was there a core message that he had that's something that no matter the years or whatever, there was still kind of one point that resonated with Coach Knotts?
Yeah, it was, the team changes year to year, but the work doesn't change. The foundation doesn't change, you know what I mean? And I think that's something that, even I try to bring back to Independence now, you know what I mean? We're not trying to replicate what, we did back then, but we do want to kind of keep the foundation as to what built the program the same. And that was something TK always preached, no matter who steps in, it's next man up, but we're going to play with the same standard, play with the same foundation that it was built on.
So can you take me back to the day you got the job at Independence? And you knew you were going to be there as the head coach. Can you take me back to that day and maybe what it meant to you and what it means now to be the coach there?
Yeah, when I got the call, it was a little surreal, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to say I was surprised because, again, once I kind of knew that I was going to interview for it, like I had already had it in my mind that I'm going to make it real hard for these guys not to hire me. So when I got it, it wasn't like I was shocked or surprised by it, but it was a surreal moment, like, wow, you know what I mean? Like I'm about to go be the head coach at the school that I played for. That day was real, it was hectic. The phone didn't stop ringing and, former teammates texting calling, but it was cool to kind of see everybody kind of pop back out and give support and things like that. But the phone was just going crazy for like a good week or so, man. But and then I got hired late, so it was kind of just like I got hired. I think like in the May, it was the spring season too.
Oh,
so,
wow!
Yeah,
okay,
so
wow.
we were getting ready. Like we had literally, I was at Butler that year. Like we were a week or two after, just playing in our semifinals game against Grimsley.
Right.
And then, school's out, so you're about to turn back around and do it again. So we didn't have too much time to kind of sit in it a little bit. It was like, I got the call and it's like, okay, we got to get right to work. But, yeah, man, like it was a great day. My parents were all crying and everything, man. But it was good, though. It was a day I'll always remember for sure.
When you got the job and Independence maybe slipped back a little bit or whatever, what were your expectations early on in terms of, let's just get it going? What was your expectations kind of like early on?
Yeah, like I said, I got there late. You know what I mean? I got there in June, and you're talking about coming into a program where you're trying to change the foundation, change the weight room, instill some discipline, changing the standard, installing offenses and defenses. So, that late in the game in June, man, I kind of told the staff, like, look, like, of course we're going to be competitive and we want to win every game, but I think the most important thing right now is we lay down the foundation of what we want this program to be, and we're going to stand on it. We're not going to bend it for anybody. And I think that was most important for us because, when we hit the off season, the kids kind of already knew what to expect. They already knew the standard. And we had a great off season, and that led to, the type of success we had last year. So now going into year 3, we're still building our program. I think that's something that kind of gets lost in the whole thing as far as the year we had last year. We're still trying to build our program. We're not nowhere near where we wanted to be right now. But as far as just standards and what we expect, that's in place now to the point to where we get freshmen coming in now, the upperclassmen, the seniors, who this is going on their 3rd year being with me. I don't have to do so much as, hey, guys, this is the standard. This is how we do this. The kids are starting.
You got kids who can lead now.
They're starting to handle that stuff. And that's how I know we're starting to turn the corner, because we're starting to become a player-led team now.
Let's go back to last season for just a minute. Mm-hmm. That's a heck of a run.
Yeah.
How proud are you of the team and what they did last season?
Oh, yeah, I was tremendously proud of them. They, for that team and that group of guys, especially those seniors who haven't had much success, let's just call it what it is. They haven't had much success that year. And it's hard sometimes to change the mindset of kids into a championship mindset, when they haven't been there. It's also hard sometimes to see how they're going to handle success when they start to have it. I thought we did a good job, coach, staff, and players-wise, of being able to handle success and what I like to say, sustain success. But, man, just proud of those guys, proud of the seniors and the way they led us. We had 14, 15 seniors, but really only like 7 of them played.
Right.
But those 8 other seniors that really didn't play much were so pivotal into what we were doing, because they were there every day. They were giving the effort every day. They were still leaders. They weren't worried about, I'm not getting in the game, so I'm going to sit on the sideline and sulk, or I'm not going to, go hard on the scout team right here. Like those guys, those seniors was a selfless group. And, we're missing those seniors right now, just as far as not so much of their play, but just the leadership and the energy they brought us. But that set us up, like I said, that last year and that senior class set us up for possibly, this first game that we got. What I mean? We don't get that opportunity without those seniors, man. So we're in a good place right now where they left us. But like I tell the seniors, it's your duty now to make sure that you're continuing to work and to uphold what they left, and also so that you're leaving a little piece of legacy for somebody else to work for as well.
How tough is it as a head coach knowing the success Independence has had in the past and the success you had last season? You are dealing with teenage boys.
Right.
How tough is it to keep them even keel? I mean, how do you keep them from not walking in this year going, okay, look at who we are, kind of the big eye. What I'm saying?
I got ways to kind of keep them grounded.
Would it involve running?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. But no, I just keep reiterating to them, like, listen, man, like this team right here, 2023 team, we haven't accomplished anything.
Right.
We haven't played a snap. We've got guys that were on that team last year who are gone, that were in big roles, that were, so amount percent of the offense that we had and a big percentage of the defense that we had. So, as a whole, this team hasn't accomplished anything. We haven't won anything. And then another way I kind of put it to them is like, look, we won 11-2, but what did we get from it? I didn't get a raise.
Right.
I didn't get a raise. We split the conference 3 ways, and we didn't get a state title. So it was a good year. But at the end of the day, we really didn't accomplish what we wanted to accomplish. So that's how we kind of put it to them. Let's reach our goals now. When I got there, our goal last year was to win the conference, not split it 3 ways.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I think the head coach had a little bit of something to do with the reason why we had to, split it 3 ways. But, either way, that's where we're at right now. We want to make sure we're going to 1-0 each day. And like I tell them, like when you have a season like that, only thing that comes next is more expectations. You know what I mean? So we can't rest on what we did last year because it means absolutely nothing. And now people are expecting even more from us this year with the team that they haven't seen and with the team that actually hasn't done anything just yet. So that's kind of how we try to keep them kind of even keel.
How cool is it to just have kind of the atmosphere back at Independence in terms of football? Maybe with the fans, the student body, the administration.
Yeah, no, that's been real good, man, to see the support that we've gotten. The moment I kind of got there, like I said. We got admin, teachers, staff that were there when I was in school.
Right.
This year, my first year there, from what people were telling me, the attendance definitely went up. But last year, probably like that Charlotte Catholic game, is when I started to see, like, man, Mint Hill's really back out here.
Right.
Definitely the Butler game. That was just an electric atmosphere. But Mint Hill has always loved Independence. Like I tell the kids, they just been waiting for us to kind of give them a product to come see. Like, don't nobody want to waste their Friday night, come out there and see some of the stuff we were putting out there. So Mint Hill's always been there. But now that, we're kind of putting a product out there that they can look forward to on Friday nights, oh, man, they show the support, man. Even when we're kind of just out in the community, I'll have a shirt on, man. They love us out there. So, we're working to hopefully put something good back out there on the field for them.
We talk about the Southwestern 4A, the conference itself, and we've done a couple of stories about it. We did a story on it last year. Just the amount of young coaches, the new coaches, but then you have, Coach Hale out at Butler and stuff. Just talk to me about the coaching, because it just seems like there's, the young guns, and maybe a veteran. I'm not even sure, Coach Ward would be considered a veteran of Providence. I guess he's probably, 4 year, 5 year. Yeah. And so just talk to me about the coaches. It seems like no matter who I talk to, whether it was out at Geringer, I was out there the other day, I can't remember his name, but I'm sorry.
I think it's Coach Williams.
Yeah, Coach Williams. He got the job in May.
Yeah.
So, and I went out to the practice the other day. They had 23 kids.
Yeah.
But still, just the energy and enthusiasm being a part of this conference says something.
Yeah, no, we got a good conference, man. I think people kind of, of course you got the other conference with the Huffs and the Creeks and the Chambers. But we got a tough conference, man, with the teams that we got in there, regardless of the records, man. Like, we play in a physical conference, and we got some good coaches in this conference. I tell my coaches all the time, before Broderick's retired, my days at Argykel, Broderick's always had my number. So, last year, scored 35 points was like out of this world.
Game on.
Yeah. But we've always had good coaches in this conference, man. So it really pushes us as coaches to make sure we're doing what we need to do to prepare. As far as old and new coaches kind of coming in, I just look at it like, a lot of these guys have put in their years, put in their time, and rightfully so, it's time for them to retire. Now the new wave of coaches is coming in, and I think it's good for this generation of kids, too, to kind of have some of these young guys kind of stepping in, because, we can relate to them a little more than some of these other guys. But I got nothing but respect for Hells. I was just joking with him last week. Like, I don't know how you did this for 25 years here, but, man, Hells has been around for a while, and he's still got that program where it needs to be. And I think that's kind of what drives, my work as far as, like, being able to, I worked with Hells for a year, and just be able to see how he's consistently had Butler, even in the off year, Butler's 8-3.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. Like, that's a down year for them. So, when you look at a team like that, that's able to be in the conference and sustain, you gotta come to work every day as a coach and a kid to keep up with those cats. Same thing with Providence and Rocky and things like that. Like, all these teams in our conference have players that you better show up to play.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so got a couple helmets right here.
Yeah.
I think that's game one, correct?
Yeah.
Kickoff night.
Yeah.
Memorial Stadium.
Yeah.
How excited are you to be playing the Creek in that game?
Very excited, man. More excited for the opportunity for our kids, man. Like I told them last week, man, like, you will never forget this game. I don't care, like, what you do. I've played at Memorial Stadium 3 or 4 times, and I can remember every game vividly. I can remember plays from that game, moments in that game. So I'm just very, very appreciative for the senior class and the year we had last year to be able to give us this opportunity. And very excited to see how our kids handle this opportunity. It's a big stage. You got 2 top 10 teams in the state coming in. It's gonna be a big game for our kids. I think we'll be up for the challenge. Mallard Creek, we know what to expect with those guys, and we're very excited, man. We're 13 days away. Like, before we look up, it's gonna be.
I'm like, really, we're that close. Coach Tinsley, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Out of Mallard Creek.
Yeah.
What do you know about him? And it seems like he's, I've met him a couple times. He runs a program.
Yeah. He's done a good job with that program. Don't know too much about him. I know some people that work with him. I know he's from the Greensboro area, but he, as far as I know, he came in that first year late in the game, COVID year, so that's tough. But what he did last year, and then just continue to put his stamp on the program, nothing but respect for Coach Tinsley and what he's doing over there. And some questions are getting answered in about 13 days.
So last week, a few days back or whatever, we had the Southwestern 4A Media Day, which I know you played a big part in terms of we had it in Independence last year.
Providence this year.
Yeah, Providence this year. And now, South Mex doing one.
Yeah.
And I think there's I forgot who else is doing one.
Queen City Conference.
Queen City's doing one on exactly.
Monday.
How cool is it to kind of see those other conferences kind of start to do this now and kind of get these media days?
That's what we wanted. You know what I mean? That was my goals to kind of, I was hoping maybe last year, but I did it last year. I kind of did it and everybody wanted to see. But that was my goal.
And you did a good job, dude. It was awesome.
I appreciate it. But that was my goal, you know what I'm saying? To kind of get the other conferences to spread it out and do it. Good opportunity for the kids. Mainly, I like it because, again, when I watch like interviews with kids, it's, they don't get much of that.
Right.
That time to do that. So, just give them the experience to do it, put some emphasis on the kids and the programs. And I think it's a good build up leading into the series. So now we're actually in talks with Miss Erica Turner to do a county media day next season.
Right.
So me and her get together at the end of the year and try and figure this thing out. But that was always my goal to hopefully year one, let's set it and let everybody see it. Year two, hopefully express it at other conferences. Now, year three, we just have a big media day thing. And, I think it's something that probably should have been done here, but better late than never. So, next year, hopefully we do it.
And the cool part for us as the media who take advantage of it, for us to come out, we can talk to you guys, and then we can come to practice, stay out of your hair. You can do your coaching, and we can just shoot a little video.
Get all your answers right there.
And it's all good, yeah. It's been a huge help for us, so much appreciated.
I appreciate you coming.
And I know it'll continue to just grow. So I've talked to a couple coaches, a couple players. I'm going to put you on the spot on a couple of things, if you don't mind. So first thing for me is, we have the NIL deal. And it's, been colleges and stuff. Then it looked like it may be in Carolina, but then for the high schoolers, but then we kind of, took it away to a point. For high schoolers, and people who watch my podcast know I'm not a big fan of it for high schoolers.
Right.
Your thoughts on it in terms of high school? College, I get to a point, but high school?
It's tricky, I think. Of course, like if you get an opportunity where a kid can earn a couple dollars, and I think Coach Hale said that where they don't have to leave practice after just practicing for and lifting and doing all this stuff and then go stand behind a hot grill. If they can find another way to make a few extra dollars, I'm all for it. Like I'm all for kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm even all for kids working. I tell my guys that's why we practice in the morning. Go work.
You
need to start getting in the process of earning money.
Sure.
But of course, like if they can find other ways to earn a couple dollars, then I'm good with it. My only thing is just like, how are we going to regulate it? Who's regulating it? And then when you really look at it in the high school level, not that many kids are going to benefit from NIL in my mind.
No, right, sure.
You know what I mean? I'm thinking
you got to be top 3, 4.
You got your Jaden Davises that is going to make a few dollars. So I thought where it might affect high school in a negative way would be now that would be a tool to pull kids into my school.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, and then you get a little...
I think that's where it starts to get a little tricky as far as who's governing it. But, that's for the people to figure out that make the big dollars. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm all for kids making a few dollars. I just want to make sure that we got something in place that's governing that stuff.
So I played college ball. You played college ball. You made the shift. You said midway through? Is that?
Yeah, after my sophomore year, I transferred to Winston State my junior.
Got it. So transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
I always wrestle with it because I don't like it, but then I do like it. But there's certain situations in which I do like it.
Right.
I mean, if all of a sudden you come to a school, the coach leaves, he recruited you, and all of a sudden he packs up and goes.
Right.
Okay, I get that. For the kid who's like, I'm not getting enough playing time or something like that, I got an issue with. What's your thoughts on the portal? Because you played, and you.
Again, I'm like you. Like a head coach gets a new job, he can leave when he wants to. I feel like the kids should be able to do the same. I think we need to put a limit on it. I don't, you got some kids who's been in college for a year and a half and he's already been to 3 schools.
Right.
And I also think too, it has to be again some type of regulations on it because now it's really taking away opportunities for the kids coming out of high school.
That's where I struggle.
And I'm honest with my kids about it, and I just tell them like, this is the world we're in, and I don't have no control over it. But you can't blame the college coaches because if I'm a college coach and I got an opportunity to go in the portal and grab a kid that's already been on the college campus for 2 years, rather than a high school kid, I'm probably do the same thing because now the way the landscape of college football is, they're not giving coaches 3-4 years to turn the program around.
You got a year.
You got like a year, maybe 2. So when you put it like that, it's like, well, if I get a high school kid, I probably got to develop him for 2 years. He ain't ready to go. I'm going to go grab the portal. I got to figure out some type of way to kind of limit kids from jumping in. I think I've seen kids who are freshmen who will graduate early, get there in January, and then by June they're in transfer portal. I think that type of situation right there, if they transfer again, they have to sit out or something. You know
Right.
what I mean? We got to figure out some way to kind of limit kids because you see it now. Kids are always looking for easy outs.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we just gave them another one.
Right.
And then you can get another one if you want that.
Right.
So it's got to, again, I think it's all about like how we're regulating these things.
And how the coaches approach it, I think, too, to a point. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I coach, Coach Dion goes
Yeah.
to where he goes, and he's like, I'm bringing my dogs, and y'all can get, like, he literally just said, y'all can get out.
Right.
And you're I felt sorry for those kids. I was like, come on. And I get it. So back to the team for this year real quick, and we'll wrap up kind of with this. What excites you the most about the team you have this year?
I got a lot of young guys, ninth graders that are sophomores that's going to be stepping into some big time roles. They've had great off seasons. They're doing everything we asked them to do in practice, but you still got that little unknown about, okay, what are you going to do when the lights come on? And we got bright lights coming on
Real
on Thursday
bright lights.
night. So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see the growth of some sophomores that started last year, and they were starters, all conference guys, to see what type of growth they made coming up to this season. I got a couple guys that are freshmen that are going to be stepping out there and starting roles too. And I'm just really excited to see how the team coming off a year like that steps up to a challenge of playing a team like Mallard Creek week 1 on the stage that they're playing them on. I think that's what I'm most excited for because I want to see how we're going to handle, the stage. I want to see how we're going to handle some success in that game, but how we're also in the same breath when we do have success, how we're going to handle the adversity in that game because that's coming. So like I just got finished telling my kids this hour ago after practice, like there's going to be a lot of questions that are going to get answered in about 13 days. And I'm excited to see those answers.
Coach, thanks for your time. Best of luck.
I appreciate you, man.
You
Always,
got it.
bro.
You got it.
Always.
And, of course, thank you for joining us on the podcast. And make sure you check us out wherever you listen, watch your podcast. Make sure you comment, follow, like. And until next time, have a great day.